behind me on this floating factory, you can see the very foundation of the Antarctic ecosystem being ground up or boiled. It is a monster of the deep. I'm minuscule in size compared to this vessel. We've just seen it have its net out. There's been chin-strap penguins, whales, and this vessel here is harvesting the smallest creature in the Southern Ocean, krill, that all these animals rely on, that we've seen, that these penguins desperately swimming out of the way of this vessel rely on to survive. Inside this vessel, the krill will get pulled up the slipway. They'll be cooked or they'll be frozen directly as fish meal. Now, the krill is used for fish feed, for aquaculture, to turn farm salmon pink, and also for supposed health supplements as part of the nutraceutical industry. This is the foundation of the Antarctic ecosystem getting pulled out of the ocean for products that we do not need. This is really like arriving in another world. When my boot first hit the shore, I was really overwhelmed with the sensation of arriving on another planet or even the moon.
I think it's apt to think of it like a lunar landscape, because I see it like the near side of the moon, right? The side of the moon that people see every single night, the one that ancient astronomers thought was covered in lunar lakes. And yet, on the far side of the moon, the side we don't see, it's beaten and battered and cratered. There's a dark side to the moon, and to fully understand the Southern Ocean, you have to travel to the dark side of the Antarctic and shine a light on the threats.
This penguin colony behind me here, even though they don't directly rely on krill, they're only 1 or 2 steps removed. Krill are the foundation of the Antarctic ecosystem, and the krill industry is here hoovering this foundational species out of the ocean.
We're just northwest of Coronation Island, where we've snuck up on the Long Fa. The Long Fa is part of the Chinese distant water fishing fleet, fishing for krill down here in the Antarctic, and it's a harbinger of things to come. We're at a real tipping point for the industry. Either this fishery is going to remain at 12 to 14 trawlers, or this is just the beginning of what could become a very big fishery down here in the Antarctic. Get the drone up in the air and intercept them as quickly as possible. It's illegal to drill for oil in the Antarctic under the Antarctic Treaty System, but there's still oil exploitation happening in the Southern Ocean. It's just not being taken out of the seabed, it's taken out of the small bodies of krill. In the 1950s, vessels were coming down here to extract oil from the whales. They're now not targeting whales directly, but indirectly by going after their very food source. The krill fishing industry has long talked about there being a krill surplus, but that only existed because whale numbers had been so heavily decimated due to commercial whaling that some of the great whale species almost went extinct. Whale numbers are now increasing, and if whales were at their pre-whaling number, there wouldn't be enough krill in the Southern Oceans to sustain those numbers. This abandoned whaling station, this ghost town at the bottom of the world, is a reminder to me of how close we really were to losing the great whales. And the fact that whale conservation was the biggest conservation challenge in the 20th century. But now, thankfully, whale numbers are increasing. Whale populations are growing. And the largest creatures on the planet are now actually the smallest conservation concern, whereas the smallest creatures, krill, are now the biggest conservation challenge we face.
Exactly, there's krill now that have been hoovered out of the Southern Ocean, much like the whales were harpooned back then. It's now just a new species being targeted here in Antarctica.
I think there's a big lesson to be learned from this place too. This place did not shut down because the international community got together and said, we have to protect the great whales. This place stopped operating because there were no whales left to kill around South Georgia. It's really a warning sign that we can't let these industries go too far, especially when there's still time to turn it all around.
Absolutely, and the krill industry right now, that's exactly what they're pushing for. They're pushing for growth, bigger trawlers, larger catch limits. It's reminiscent of the push for whaling, and we can't just keep harvesting and pulling out of the ocean forever.